Yeah, I think it's not really a skill issue rather than like a mental issue. I think and I think throughout the bye week and this week just really been hitting on, emphasizing, what your job is and what you're supposed to do. And so and we're going to clean that up and continue to get better. Obviously not what we want. I think like we can defend the run a lot better, and so we've been pounding on it over and over and over again, getting a ton of reps. So we're going to get better at that.
You've mentioned consistently doing your 111, doing your assignment. In the process of trying to get better and doing that, is it simply just doing like those drills harder? Or is there something just mentally where you have to just kind of reset yourself and kind of reposition where you are on any given play?
Yeah, I think it's really just like knowing your job, really. And I think offenses are going to throw a lot of stuff at you, and there's a lot of moving parts, and so sometimes it can be tricky to figure it out. But for us as a defense, like we're going to simplify things and teach things that just to do your job and be where you're supposed to be. And so I think so far defensively we've done a super good job of addressing and fixing it, and now it's time for us to go show it on Friday night. And so but yeah, we're excited.
Cade, while you were growing up, obviously the New England Patriots were the thing in the NFL, and now you're playing against Bill Belichick on Friday. What's that feel like, and how do you make sure that you're just worried about playing Carolina and not thinking about the fact that you're playing against a coaching legend?
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool to have Coach Belichick come, and now it's crazy just watching as a kid, watching the Patriots and Tom Brady and all them, and now you get to play against Coach Bill Belichick and everything. So, but it's not really going to affect us. I don't think. I think we're just going to go out, trust ourselves, trust the team, and trust our preparation, and just go out there Friday night and have fun, fly around, and just enjoy it and soak it all in.
You're 2-3. What's your impression of them?
I think they're a solid team across the board, and I think there's been a lot of noise with them lately and whatnot, and we're just gonna do Cal football. We're just gonna keep on playing and stuff, and so but they're a good team across the board. I mean, I wouldn't really know defensively, but offensively they're a good team across the board. Like I said, quarterback's a good position. Running backs play super hard. O-line's big and physical. Tight ends can run and block. So we're going to bring our A game, and we're excited to go play.
Okay, as a team captain, has there been a message that you kind of echoed throughout the bye week to your team?
Just kind of like resetting, I think has been huge for us. I think the bye week came at a good time for us just to kind of like take a breath and just kind of just relax and just reset and refocus. And so really just throughout the bye week, I think a lot of guys just kind of took time to de-stress and kind of just chillax and figure things out. And now it's back into game week, and so people flip the switch and we're ready to roll and we're ready to get going. So
How did you specifically position yourself to reset throughout the bye and then eventually go out and try and hunt down the second half of the season?
yeah, just for me, I think for me personally, just my performance has just kind of been up and down a little bit, not what I've really wanted necessarily. And so for me, just kind of, took a mental reset of just being like, okay, take a breath. I remember on Saturday, I'm just, turn on the TV, watch some football, just kind of chillax, and just kind of reset and just focus. And yeah, that's really been doing. So,
How big a game is this for you guys?
yeah, I think it'd be a big game for us. I think we're excited. Friday night game, a lot of attention on us, but so we're excited for the opportunity, but we're also excited for the opportunity to go out there and play and go show everyone what we can do. And so we're still gonna not let all the craziness affect us, and we're just gonna keep playing ball.
Given the context of the rest of the season and your schedule, it looks like the next 2 weeks are games that maybe you need to win. How do you see that?
Yeah, I think for us, just take it 1 week at a time. Really, I think we're just gonna take it week by week and continue to reflect and review and get better. So we're gonna take it 1 week at a time, and but we're excited.
So while we go to the phone, make sure to speak up again, Ben Ross. Go ahead, Ben.
Hey, Cade, what do you? I kind of want to get your thoughts about playing on Friday night. Obviously, two straight Friday night games coming up, a little different than the normal routine. Do you like that to kind of take you back to your high school days?
Yeah, I mean, Friday Night Lights. There's not a lot of things better. So I'm excited to go out there and play. And then, as far as like the preparation goes, like honestly, everything you do, you just move back a day. So and coming off a bye week, it really was no issue for us. And so I think, but yeah, playing on Friday Night Lights, like you don't get the opportunity very often. And so as a team, we're super excited.
Matt? Go ahead, Matt. Moreno?
We talked about it before. We talked about it before the season, Cade, just about your leadership and it'd be something you had to grow into. It's a critical time, it feels like, to be captain of this team. You talked about it a little bit just a couple minutes ago, but how do you continue to grow into that leadership role, and how important is it, at this point in the season?
Yeah, I think being a leader kind of hasn't always been easy for me, and I've definitely kind of learned a ton, which has been awesome, and I've been super grateful for it. But right now, it's like we're halfway through the season, which is crazy to think already, and so now it's just like for me as a leader, just to keep on encouraging the guys, really, and I think I think everything I can do for them. I try to do, whether it's on the field, off the field. And so, I just try to be there for the guys no matter what. But just constant support, really.
Matt or Ben, do you guys have anything else?
I'm good, thanks.
Okay, anybody in the room, anything else, Steve?
Yeah, and, anytime you lose a player, it hurts. And you guys lost two really key players a couple of weeks ago with Ryan and Isaiah. Sometimes I think people forget about that. How much just tangible can you improve now, kind of a couple weeks to adjust to losing two guys who were really important in the defense?
Yeah, injuries suck, and that's just they're terrible, and that's just part of football, and we kind of just got to work around it, really. And so those guys, I think the guys that are stepping up, because if someone gets hurt, then someone's got to step up, and I think those guys are ready. I think they've been prepared, and they're great players, and so especially having this bye week and everything to kind of prepare and adjust has been crucial. And but I think across the board on defense, like we have a bunch of dudes that are just ball hungry, like love football and just enjoy being out there. And so whoever it is on the field, like we have a trust in another that they're going to give it their all, and they're going to do their thing and just have fun out there. Thank you guys. Go Bears.